Unit 22, Gateway. Environmental taxes based directly on measured emissions can, in principle, be very precisely targeted to the policy's environmental objectives. If a firm pollutes more, it pays additional tax directly in proportion to the rise in emissions. The polluter thus has an incentive to reduce emissions in any manner that is less costly per unit of abatement than the tax on each unit of residual emissions. The great attraction of basing the tax directly on measured emissions is that the actions the polluter can take to reduce tax liability are actions that also reduce emissions. Continuous emissions measurement can be costly, particularly where there are many separate sources of emissions. And for many pollution problems, this may be a major disincentive to direct taxation of emissions. Nevertheless, the technologies available for monitoring the concentrations and flows of particular substances in waste discharges have been developing rapidly. In the future, it may be possible to think of taxing measured emissions in a wider range of applications. Exercises. Number 1. Milk is mostly water. For every unit of milk she produces, a dairy cow must consume an equivalent unit of water. Commercial dairy operations convert millions of gallons of water into milk. They use thousands of gallons of water daily to keep their herds and mega facilities clean enough to pass inspections. This water becomes waste that contaminates surrounding aquifers. Production of methane gas is also problematic. Agribusiness dairies employ advanced technologies, animal genetics, food microbiology, biophysics, and biochemistry, and gigantic housing and production facilities stocked with specialized equipment, milking machines, piping, sprinklers, and sprayers that are manufactured by other industries that also produce waste. Infrastructure must be disposed of as newer industry standards make it outdated. Transporting milk long distances requires refrigeration and fuel. Milk used to be packaged in reusable glass containers, but it is now typically sold in plastic, most of which becomes solid waste, although much of it is recyclable. Number 2. Corporate social responsibility requires businesses to be accountable for their actions and recognize the impact they have on society and the environment. Managing waste responsibly is part of this responsibility. Companies can improve their waste management practices by evaluating their waste production and finding ways to reduce it. They can also implement recycling and composting programs, which can reduce the amount of waste sent to landfills. By being conscious of their waste management practices, businesses can prove to consumers that they are committed to being sustainable and environmentally responsible. In addition to reducing their own waste, companies can also contribute to waste reduction on a larger scale. They can work with suppliers to reduce packaging and find ways to use more sustainable materials. They can also partner with organizations that promote recycling and waste reduction and support legislation aimed at reducing waste. By taking these steps, businesses can help to reduce waste throughout the entire supply chain and promote sustainability on a larger scale. Number 3. Redesigning products and changing consumer preferences may need to be supported by new business models that reshape the means by which consumers obtain products and services. Stahel and Jackson have criticized the prevailing fast replacement production system and propose that commercial innovations are necessary to decouple the profitability of commercial enterprises from the throughput of goods for consumption. They suggest that the source of future company profitability should be the sale of services rather than products. Nieuwenhuis has similarly presumed that in a more sustainable system, car producers might make their money not primarily by making and selling new cars, but by selling spares, repair, and afterwear through their dealer networks to keep their own products on the road for a long time. Such examples of reshaping the product-service mix represent a systems-based approach through which material throughput is reduced while the service provided is maintained or increased.